Welcome everyone to a very special spooky digital short. My name is Lesley Jones and I am the Director of Archives and Curation here at the Northeast Georgia History Center. Today, I want to talk about a local legend, the ghost of Brenau University herself, Agnes. For those who don't know, the History Center is located on Brenau campus, and we are proud to be a part of such an amazing university. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Founded in 1878, the Georgia Baptist Female Seminary was made for women who wanted a higher education. The school was bought by H.J. Pierce, and when Agnes Galloway was a student in 1926, the school was Brenau College. So who is she? How did this start? There are a few origin stories for Agnes's spirit. Legend 1. Agnes was suffering from a broken heart. The man she loved did not love her back, so she hanged herself from the diving board of the swimming pool. Legend 2. Agnes tried to pledge in sorority after sorority on campus, but tragically, none accepted her. Distraught from being an outcast, she hung herself in Pierce Auditorium. Legend 3. Agnes is not Agnes Galloway, but Agnes Dare, the daughter of Eleanor Dare. That's right, Brenau acquired the Dare Stones of Roanoke legend in the 1930s, and that is who Agnes really is. Legend 4. Agnes is really Lucille Townsend, a former student of Brenau who went on to marry the president, H.J. Pierce. No one knows when the legend started exactly. An article from Brenau University itself writes that Agnes was not seen by anyone until the 1960s. The legend that most people believe, and is the most well-known, is the very first legend about Agnes and the unrequited love.
I first learned about Agnes as a freshman. It was about 2009, and of course, every freshman gets the rundown, you get all the traditions, everything you find when you come in as a new student, and Agnes is one of those stories that gets passed down. She was a music major, she was a singer, and she was apparently pretty good to the point where she was getting a lot of parts and she was heavily involved in the music scene. We've had some really interesting encounters over the years, and some of the more famous ones include a jar of pennies, which a student had a large jar of pennies in her dorm room. She came back from class one day and the pennies were spilled all over the floor and every single one was heads up. Every single one. So you can't really explain that. That's something. And then a recent one was we had a new gallery director come on board this year, and she had set up a show. It was the first show that she was doing as a gallery director, and she had painstakingly adjusted all the lights, and all that stuff requires ladders and tools and things to make sure the gallery is lighted correctly. And she comes in the next day and it's all messed up. And she was like, who would pull a prank on me like that? Who would do that? Who would get up on a ladder and move all those lights? She didn't know about Agnes, so we had to tell her that it was probably Agnes just saying hello. But one thing I do appreciate is if she starts messing with you, all you have to do is say, Agnes, cut it out, Agnes, stop it, or Agnes, I'm busy. And suddenly it stops.
We are incredibly lucky to have the original nitrate negative, taken by local photographer N.C. White, of Agnes Galloway from 1926. Former students and staff of Brenau have seen the ghost of Agnes throughout their time on campus. Kimberly Dean, a former employee, shared an office on the 3rd floor of Pierce. She said, "One day, while I was working alone in the office, I heard a click on the office door and noticed it open and the lamp on the table flickered. No one was there. I casually got up and walked to shut the door, thinking nothing of it. 2 more times, Kimberly went to shut the door. By the 3rd time, I made a point to tell Agnes hello and that I really needed to get to work. After that, the door stopped opening on its own." An alum from the 1980s, Melanie Martin Roper, remembered practicing the organ in Pierce in the evenings. She said that several nights she felt like someone was listening and watching. She wrote, "I would turn around and never see anyone, but I always got the chills. I had heard about Agnes from other students and always wondered if it was her. Brian Buffington, a former security officer at Brenau, said one time he was standing on the lawn in front of Pierce. He wrote that one night he saw a young lady in one of the upper windows when no one should have been there. Once I went to investigate, there wasn't even a floor where that window was. While we don't know who the ghost of Brenau is, we do know that many people have felt some kind of presence there. What do you think about Agnes? Do you have a story to share? Let us know. Thank you so much for watching this digital short. I'd like to thank Brenau University and Allison Shields for their help in finding Agnes.